In this video, I'm going to do a comparison between the GoPro Hero 11 that I'm filming with right now and the GoPro Hero 10. Now I'm going to gear this video towards people who use the cameras like I do. There's a lot of videos out there comparing these two cameras, and there's a lot of new features on the GoPro Hero 11 like light painting and star trails and car lights. But the way that I use a camera like this is I'll use it for vlog style videos like this, walking around. I'll use it for doing bike reviews, in other words, standing behind the camera and filming things, and then I'll mount it on my chest or on a bike for riding. So if you're a cyclist, this video is going to be really helpful for you if you're interested in one of these cameras. If you just use the cameras like I just mentioned without using a lot of the other features, then I think this video is going to be helpful for you. If you're thinking about upgrading from the 8, 9, or 10, I'm going to do my best to help you understand the new features of the GoPro Hero 11 to help you make the decision if you should upgrade. So now I've switched over to the Hero 10, and I'm going to keep the settings the same for both of these cameras. Let me go ahead and mention two of the main features of the GoPro Hero 11 that are different from the 10 that I think I'll take advantage of for mountain biking. One is the bigger sensor. Now, when you hear bigger sensor, the first thing that you may think of is it's going to have better low light capabilities. That's not really the case. What they've done is they've made the sensor one big square so that you can shoot a video, and then later when you edit, you can decide if you want that to be a vertical video like a 9:16 or a 16:9 horizontal video. That's really cool because there are times when I may use the video for like a YouTube short, and I have to make compromises if I shot that video only in a landscape. So that's one cool thing. Now, I don't think it's going to have better low light sensitivity or low light capabilities, but we're going to test it. And then also the new GoPro Hero 11 has 10-bit color. Again, I'm still on the Hero 10, switching from the 11. And the 10-bit color you may take advantage of or you may not. If you like to color grade your videos, in other words, shoot flat and then color grade, that 10-bit color is going to help you. It's also going to help you if you like putting your videos like on a big monitor. You won't see the banding like in the sky. Now, if you just upload to YouTube, the 10-bit color may not help you if you're not doing any color grading. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to switch back over. Actually, I'm going to do a side-by-side with both cameras. We're going to walk around. We're going to check the stability, the stabilization, the hyper smooth of both of these cameras. Okay, so I'm holding these cameras side by side out in front of me. I've got some really nice golden hour daylight sun hitting my face. While I'm walking around, let me go ahead and talk about the settings. So I'm shooting linear right now. I'll also do some super view and hyper view. So that's another nice thing about the new GoPro Hero 11 is you've got this ultra wide view, so bigger than super view. I'll test that out on a mountain bike. Not something that I think I'll use a lot. Other settings that I'm using, I've got both cameras in white balance of 5500. I am using the 10-bit color on the GoPro Hero 11. I should, because I want to compare it to the 8-bit color of the GoPro Hero 10. Also, I'm using wind reduction off. I've got a little foam windscreen on both of these cameras, a wind slayer it's called, so I don't have the wind noise. I'm also using the high bit rate setting on both of these cameras, and I'm shooting 30 frames per second on both of these cameras. So those are the settings. Again, just checking the stabilization. What I'm going to do now is just kind of pick it up to a run and then just see if the stabilization is about the same on both of these cameras. I have a feeling it will be. So the cameras are moving around a lot, and of course I'll check the stabilization when I mount it on my chest for mountain biking. Another feature that's worth mentioning that's on the GoPro Hero 11 while I'm walking around with stabilization is it has an auto boost. So what you can do is put it on auto boost, and the camera will determine if you need stabilization or not, and it'll smoothly crop in, because you know the sensor crops in a little bit when you're using stabilization, and then it'll crop back out when you don't need the stabilization. So that's something that's kind of cool. So this is the stabilization test. Now I'm going to go inside and we're going to do a low light test, and we're going to see if that bigger sensor really does help with low light, or if it's just to give you more canvas to work with when you get to your editing computer. So let's go inside and check the low light. So this is my low light test. One more setting that I want to mention is I'm using natural color for both of these. I'm not going to do any color grading for this video because I don't want to mess up a setting between the two cameras. All right, so standing in the same spot with the GoPro Hero 10, is it any better? Is it any worse? I'm using the same settings, got the same lighting coming in, so natural color, still shooting linear. I am also shooting 5.3K, so maybe at the end of this video I'll just run through all the settings that I'm using for this video. Here's another common scenario that I use these cameras for, is maybe doing like a biker view or just standing behind the camera. And this one I wanted to do another side-by-side. So I'm just going to pan over some of these bikes, see if there's any noticeable difference in the video quality, in the colors. I'm back on auto white balance, still shooting 5.3K, high bit rate, 30 frames per second. I'm in linear. And now over to the most important test of all, and that is using the GoPro as an action cam, which is what its main purpose in life is. So I'm starting off with the Hero 10. I'm going to do a couple things for this test. I'm going to switch back and forth between the 10 and 11, and then I'm going to show some of the features of the Hero 10, particularly the Hyperview, or Hero 11, the Hyperview, and also that big sensor, and just kind of show what you can do with the Hero 11. So again, I'm on the Hero 10. I'm gonna switch over to the 11. And switching over to the Hero 11. And back over to the Hero 10. Really looking at the stabilization. By the way, the settings are the same I had before, 5K 30. I'm running Superview on both of these, which is the way I would use it for mountain biking. And also I'm on natural color. I am on auto white balance because I'm coming in and out of the sun spots and shaded spots, and just didn't want to mess with white balance for this video. And back over to the Hero 11. The only real setting difference is I'm using the 10-bit color, because it's really fair to do that, because I'm going to see if it's worth it. I think that's one of the main differences between these two cameras for this kind of use. And of course the bigger sensor for getting more canvas to work with, which we'll do here in a minute. Back over to the 10. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch from Superview to the Hyperview to give you an idea of how much bigger it is. So this is something you cannot do on the Hero 10 because it takes advantage of that new bigger sensor. All right, so this is Superview, and now this is Hyperview. I've not even looked at video footage with Hyperview yet, so when I edit this video, I'll be seeing it for the first time and decide if it's something I want to use. I have a feeling I'm going to be using Superview, especially on pedal sections like this where I don't want my knees bobbing up and down in the video. All right, just for the heck of it, let's switch one more time back to Superview. All right, back to Superview. Camera in the exact same spot, mounted on my chest. Little twisty, pedally section here. And we'll switch back over to Hyperview one last time. And now back over to Hyperview. What do you think? Is it worth it? Would you use it? I'm curious to see if I would use it. I'll check it out for the first time once I put these videos on my computer. And now for the final test of this video, and that is to check out this 8x7 sensor and kind of see what I can do with it. So I've switched over to it, and by the way, you only have one lens option. It's wide, not narrow, not linear, not wide or super view or hyper view. It's just one setting because you change the aspect ratio in post when you're editing. So I'm going to show you how you can kind of move the frame around. So let's say you had too much sky in your 16:9. Here you can just switch it around. Let's say you had your knees bobbing up and down in the video and you didn't want to do that, so you switched it and you wanted to kind of move the frame up. You could do that. So kind of a cool option. Probably the one that I would take advantage of the most on this camera. I'm definitely taking advantage of the 10-bit color. Not sure if the Hyperview is something I would use, but 10-bit color and probably this 8:7 aspect ratio. Again, just to give you a lot more flexibility when you're editing your videos. So I'll move the frame around a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So I'll put too much knees in the video, and let's say you're like, oh, I gotta move the frame up. I don't like that. So you can slide it up, get the view that you want. And you can, like I said, just move it around, frame it the way you want it. That's how you take advantage of that sensor. And of course, the other way you could take advantage of this aspect ratio is to shoot vertical videos. It may not matter to some of you, but if you post on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, those currently are all vertical videos. And the only way to get a vertical video out of having a chest-mounted GoPro is to get an adapter. Here, you can just shoot with this aspect ratio and then choose afterwards. Do I want it vertical or horizontal? So that's kind of cool and probably something I'll take advantage of. Like I posted a video of me riding a trail in Blacksburg, Virginia. I put it on Instagram, but it was, you know, had the black bars at the top and bottom because I shot it wide in a portrait, or I mean a landscape aspect ratio, and you know, I couldn't convert it. But with this sensor, I could. Now to wrap up this video and talk about my conclusions after using both of these cameras back to back and talk about whether or not I think you should upgrade to the Hero 11. I want to mention a few features that I have not mentioned so far about the Hero 11, and that is, first of all, it does shoot 27 megapixel photos, so that is a bump in resolution for photos. I use GoPros for photos now. I used to not do it, but from the Hero 10 and now the Hero 11, I think they shoot really good photos, especially if you put them in Adobe Lightroom. I was out on a family kayak trip a few months ago, and I did not want to take my phone out of the bag and risk dropping it in the water. I had the GoPro Hero 10 at that time on a floaty stick, and I was able to take some really good photos without risking dropping my phone in the water. Something else about the Hero 11 is it has horizon lock, which was only available in the past by using the Max Lens mod. And that is, if you put it in horizon lock, you can rotate the camera completely all the way around and the horizon is going to stay perfectly level. It's not something that I use that much, but if you think you may take advantage of that feature and don't want to purchase the Max Lens mod, then the Hero 11 might be a good upgrade for you. And the GoPro Hero 11 does come with the Enduro battery. You can buy that. It's the same battery between the Hero 10 and 11. All the batteries are compatible, but the Enduro battery, again, comes with the Hero 11, is better in cold weather, and it lasts longer. And now, should you upgrade to the Hero 11? If you have a Hero 9 or before, I actually would recommend upgrading because of GoPro's new chip that they put in here. That makes these GoPros so much more reliable. They started with the Hero 10. Before the Hero 10, I would have to reset my GoPro probably every time I took it out. I would have to take the battery out because it would freeze. Not really had that issue with the Hero 10, have not had that issue with the Hero 11. Now, I had one issue with the Hero 11 where the stabilization went crazy. Here's a quick clip. And I've never had this happen with any other GoPro. I don't know what happened. Hopefully it's a total fluke that will never happen again, because if it does, the clip is absolutely ruined. So I just want to mention that. Now, should you upgrade from the Hero 10 to the Hero 11? Well, it depends on, to me, a couple main things. And one is, if you think you're going to take advantage of that 10-bit color, so you color grade, you just want the absolute best colors you can possibly get, then I would recommend upgrading. I did notice a difference on my face when I was doing the side-by-side. I thought that the colors looked a bit more natural on the Hero 11 versus the Hero 10. I chalk it up to the 10-bit color. That was really the only setting difference. And I like the colors, but they're probably not going to be that noticeable, especially when you upload to YouTube where it does their compression. But if you want the absolute best colors, especially if you like color grading, then I would say the upgrade is worth it. The other thing that may make it worth it for you is if you're going to take advantage of that 8x7 sensor. So in other words, you're going to want to move the frame around. You want this big canvas to work with. So, you know, picture it being a big square, and then you can just move it around wherever you want it. That's an advantage of the Hero 11 over the Hero 10. I want to throw something in here that I realized when I was in the final edits of this video, and that is the fact that if you use the 8x7 aspect ratio, so that new big square, you don't get boost stabilization. You still get hyper smooth, but it's either on or off. You don't get that extra level of boost that you can get when using like the 16:9 ratio. Now you can still really stabilize the video by using GoPro's desktop software, but that just adds another step in your workflow. Again, the video is stabilized, but it's not that boost, that really nice stabilization straight out of the camera. So again, I felt like I needed to throw that in there. The Hyperview is kind of cool. You can get a pretty wide view, but it's not something that I'm going to use that much on the Hero 11 because the edges are pretty distorted. Now it does look like you're going really fast on a mountain bike, so maybe I'll use it from time to time for that effect, but I'm probably going to use Super View most of the time, but it's nice to have that option. So hopefully the things that I mentioned in this video will help you decide if you want to purchase the Hero 11 and upgrade from a previous GoPro, or maybe you've never owned a GoPro and you're looking at one. The Hero 11 is great. You can use it for all kind of purposes. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I wanted to focus on the applications that I use it for, and honestly I think that a lot of people who do action sports are going to focus on. Some of the other features are cool, but not ones that I'm going to use that much. If you have any questions or comments, drop those below. If you've used the Hero 11, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.